movies and TV and music, but I especially love trying to make food items from such things. Have you ever seen cartoon pizza? One thing I've been wanting to make is schnitzel with noodles. If you don't get the reference, shame on you. It's The Sound of Music, of course. Let me set the scene. You're a spry young Fraulein who has been called to a life of service, frolicking around in the hills of Austria, when you get another call to be a governess for a bunch of bratty kids with a hot dad whose girlfriend is the worst. They always are. So you go into it thinking this can't be that bad. But then you start to realize that these kids are really bratty, and the dad is really a hottie, and the girlfriend is not cool. But you just go on with yourself, start doing the singing about deer and drops of golden sun, and one of your favorite things, schnitzel with noodles. But then something odd happens. You start to kind of like the bratty kids, and you start to kind of like their very good-looking father, who plays the guitar and sings beautiful songs, and who also happens to find himself newly single. And it gets good, but then some bad things happen, but then it gets good. Anyway, schnitzel. Let's get started. I think pretty traditionally schnitzel is made with pork. Today I'm gonna use chicken. I've got this big old breast, and I am just going to now trim the fat, butterfly it, and give it a good pound, nice and thin. I've got just a sheet of plastic wrap here that I'm just going to lay right over, flat side. Careful not to go too thin where you actually break it. I didn't butterfly this very well, what do you know? So it's kind of delicate in certain spots, but just be mindful. You just want this to be a large, thin cutlet. And voila, we have our nice little cutlet ready for dredging. Flour, egg, breadcrumbs. I usually like to make my fried cutlets of anything with panko, but I'm pretty sure breadcrumbs is a little more traditional for this dish, and I don't think it would have the same effect with panko, so breadcrumbs it is. And I'm just using plain breadcrumbs. I didn't want to get the Italian ones because I wanted to kind of flavor it on my own, and all I'm really going to do is put some salt and pepper, give that a mix. I've also salt and peppered the chicken. So first into our flour, into the egg, into the breadcrumbs. Really push it down in there. Oh, you know what I should have put in here? Lemon zest. Next time. We will be using some lemon later on. It would just kind of brighten everything up and add to it, but it's all good. As long as you got some salt and pepper in there, you are good to go. Now we are ready. Over to the stove. I've got my skillet here on a medium heat with a little bit of some neutral oil in there. I'm not deep frying this. You can if you want to, but I am shallow frying. So I've just got the bottom covered with some vegetable oil. To see if it was ready, I just dropped some breadcrumbs in there and they started to cook up. So I am gonna drop carefully my chicken. That's the sound you want. And we're gonna cook this for a couple minutes on each side. It's a very thin piece of chicken, but you just wanna make sure it is done. No undercooked chicken. Here we go. A little earlier, I did make some noodles, just some egg noodles, schnitzel with noodles. It's the dream. Because I forgot the lemon zest earlier, I'm actually just gonna sprinkle a little lemon pepper on this side. It'll do something to it. And just to prep for this being done, I've just got a plate here with some paper towel on top. Drain the excess oils, have this ready. Check it. Oh yeah. You want it nice and golden on the other side. Carefully flip. Look at how beautiful that is. And we're done. I flipped it over to its better looking side, but like, can you see that? That's a cutlet. I just have it draining for a quick second. Don't leave it on too long because it'll start to sog a little bit if it's on here. If you're leaving it for longer than a few minutes, put it on a rack and let it drain that way. Also, with anything you fry, make sure you hit it with a little salt when it comes out. Right onto a plate. Look at that. Did you want to eat that? I didn't think so. Have some noodles. I just put some parsley and lemon juice in here. Gonna finish the cutlet off with a little squeeze of that lemon juice. Of course, lemon on the side with some green. Schnitzel with noodles. I must get stuck into this. Look at that. Perfect, thin, breaded chicken cutlet. Yes, of course, I've got to get some noodles with it. First bite. Here we go. It's so good. And the noodles. And the lemon. Perfect. I'd be singing from the hilltops with this as well. I can see why it was one of Maria's favorite things. My mouth is surely alive with the sound of music and schnitzel. Schnitzel with noodles. You should make it. It's a good, simple dinner. Takes no time. Enjoy!